We were to the point where we were taking so many lumps that it was like, is this even for us? Like, this is not worth it. Now that property that we held on to is one of our best performing properties, even better than the short-term rentals. Yeah, so my name is Sean McDonnell. I'm a real estate agent with Quiet Waters Realty Group and eXp Realty. So we purchased our first property in 2016, but it was a primary residence that turned into our first rental property. But it wasn't until the end of 2017 that I began pursuing real estate as an investment.
Okay.
I mean, we made a ton of mistakes looking back on it. As a beginner investor, typically the margins are going to be pretty tight, and you're more willing to, put in the sweat equity, and to try and save, a few bucks. We didn't supervise them at all or do any regular check-ins on the property, caved to some of their requests, like paying rent late, which turned into just opening the door for more.
Late rent.
The pet thing was also, we didn't handle that properly. Looking back on it, we probably should have waited and not accepted these tenants because they barely met the criteria. It took us 2 bad experiences with different tenants to, realize that this was not a good thing for us to be doing. But then enter Avery Witt, and we realized we were renting it for well under market rent, even though I was in the real estate profession and still didn't realize that we were renting it for $700 less than we should have. And Avery was able to provide a lot of helpful guidance, and it was clear to us that we wanted you all to manage our property. So we have 3 long-term rentals and 3 short-term rentals.
Okay.
Long-terms are in Sneads Ferry, Holly Ridge, and Hampstead, and the short-terms are on Topsail Island.
Okay.
I'm very positive. I mean, we truly feel like you all treat our properties like your own. And I know, especially in this busy season of life where I'm in a self-employed job, my wife works part-time, we have 3 little kids. I know your team is managing these properties way better than we are, and it provides us the peace of mind to want to scale our long-term rental portfolio and continue investing in real estate. I mean, we were to the point where we were taking so many lumps that it was like, is this even for us? This is not worth it, and for $100 a month in cash flow, I'm dealing with all this stuff, and it made us after the second tenants moved out, it made us question should we just sell? I mean, we almost did decide to just sell it, but now thankfully 2 to 3 years later, I mean, rent has continued to go up. Now that property that we held on to is one of our best performing properties, even better than the short-term rentals, and we have, a bunch more equity. It's cash flowing more. Our expenses have remained mostly the same. Insurance and taxes went up a little bit, but now it's cash flowing after expenses $600 or $700 a month. We heard great things about you guys. So when you have been told certain things about people, you develop just at least a little bit of confidence and trust in them, even though you might not know them very well. So I think that helped is your guys' reputation as just being like men and women of good character and just good people. And then, yeah, I think I probably wasn't a hard sell for her once she showed me like what the rent could be. It was like a relief, you know, to partner with you all. But yeah, and a lot of like expectation management for sure, but it's also doing the right, it's doing the right thing even when it's the harder option generally, like holding other people accountable. It was like this in the Marine Corps too. There's findings sometimes that need to be addressed. That's the type of stuff that like if taken care of now is not going to turn into a bigger issue later. It's almost, I feel like a lot of property managers will just be like out of sight, out of mind. They'll put a tenant in and they won't look at that property again on the inside until 2 years later when the tenant moves out. And at that point, like the owners might be, yes, maybe a bigger issue could have been caught earlier on. So that's what we really like. And then just the mindset, like your guys' mindset of, you know, wanting to grow together. I like the quarterly mastermind calls, not just because you let me talk for a little bit, but I think it's really motivating to, you know, hear from other investors. It's not necessary to, you know, call for a minor repair under, I forget the amount, it's like 600 or 500.
It's $400 right now.
400. Then like you just take care of that because you know you want to keep the tenant happy. You know the investor's probably busy because they probably have a full-time job elsewhere, and it's not like the investor's like above responding to, you know, different requests and stuff. But at the end of the day, like what matters is taking care of the property, keeping the tenant happy, and being a responsive management company where there's not a bunch of like cogs or, you know, choke points in the communication funnel. So I think you guys realize that from the investing side of having, you know, being able to, you know, not have to answer calls every week from, you know, the property manager. I know for a fact, like there's buyers that I've represented as an agent that would not probably have invested here. These are out-of-state buyers who probably would not have invested here if they didn't first, like before we even started putting offers in on properties, like if they hadn't first talked to you and your team and been comfortable with, you know, who was actually going to be taking care of their investment, not just who was going to help them buy it. I mean, helping manage, like taking over a property where there's a tenant in place, I know is not like ideal for you all because you weren't able to like screen and place that tenant, but you're also willing to do that and willing to help, which is nice. Yes, I do. I sleep like a baby at night.
Sweet.
Partially it's because I'm tired from my 3 little kids, but I would say more so it's because Cedar Ridge Management is managing our rental portfolio. Yeah, so my name is Sean McDonnell. I'm a real estate agent with Quiet Waters Realty Group and eXp Realty. And you can contact our team through our website, www.quietwatersrealtygroup.com.